I'm Sara Scott, and welcome to LUTV Sports Break, where we will discuss interesting sports topics with our panel of sports reporters. The sports world has gone toe-to-toe with those in the political arena, centered around athletes speaking up about various issues. In Game 5 of the World Series, President Donald Trump was introduced to the Washington Nationals crowd and presented with a chorus of boos and lock 'em up chants. In the world of hoops, LeBron James was met with criticism over controversial statements about political issues in Hong Kong. Panel, has the line between sports and politics become blurred? Should politicians just shut up and govern, and should athletes just shut up and play?
I think it has blurred a little bit, but this isn't something that's new. It's just that athletes are people too, and they have opinions about all kinds of things like we do, but they just have the platform to project that opinion to such a large amount of people that we can take more notice than if...
Especially with social media.
Exactly.
Yeah. I will say I appreciate Adam Silver coming out with a statement saying they are, like you said, they are people too, and they're allowed to have their opinions. And they accept that in the NBA, especially with the LeBron James and the Morey stuff and the Greg Popovich statements and things like that. So they're very welcoming to those opinions because, you do have that platform to recognize that you are on a higher level and people do see you as an influence. So I'm glad they're using it in a positive way rather than a negative light.
As a young black man in the United States, I say anybody should be able to, come out and give their political views, especially like a player of LeBron James' caliber. And I feel like from back in the day when we had the civil rights movement, for them to come out and, get their rights for black people to speak up, people like LeBron, Stephen Curry, those guys with those platforms should definitely step up. They're people, and then they have those big, huge platforms, so they have absolutely the right to come out. But when people like Donald Trump, and I forgot the lady who told him to shut up and dribble, I'm not sure of her name, but for her to come out and say that, I think she knows in the back of her head, those guys have a lot of pull, and these days in sports, people has fans that look up to them and follow wherever they go.
Probably more than politicians do.
Yeah.
Exactly, and she knows that in her saying that, she knows like what they can bring and what they can encourage to people. So they definitely had a right to.
And it's important. They have that platform, but it's really important for them to know that they have that platform. They need to maybe do a little bit more research than maybe some other people do. If you're going to come out to the nation and say your opinion, you have to be able to back it up. That's the responsibility of having this huge fan base and having so much pull with your opinion, is that you need to think about what you say before you say it, because if it's out there and they get something wrong, they're not able to take it back.
So let's make this question a little bit more specific, actually. Do you guys think that their opinion should be relevant on the court or the field that they're on as well, or do you think that this is something that should stay out of game time?
I will say it's that line is kind of hard to differ because, like I will say, should the national fans have booed Donald Trump? Probably not. A lot of people in the nation were probably super happy when it happened. But sometimes you got to think to be the bigger person in those situations. Also, I don't think a lot of them are coming on the court or the field and being like, this is what I believe, this is how I feel. I think they are doing it in a correct manner, in a correct way to do it. And I think that's why so many people are in favor of them having their own opinions.
I agree. I love the fact that people are taking a stand for what they believe in. I love the fact that athletes are using their platform and their resources, as in money, to stand up for the things that they believe in. But I do believe that when you put on a uniform, you represent a team and you represent their values and beliefs. And I believe that should be a uniform thing as well. And maybe if it's something that they want to think about specifically, they should do it as a team kind of, because when you put on a uniform, you're not an individual anymore. Your whatever beliefs go out the door. And so as much as that sucks, that's kind of how it should be, I believe, personally.
With that, what you're saying, I can understand that they can all under those uniforms, but at the same time, I think that's what makes sports great. that you can bring out all these people with different opinions and come together and form as one. It don't have to be necessarily like a negative connotation towards it. It can be good. Everybody has those things, and that's, like I said, that is what makes sports great. Everybody bringing those together. I understand what you're saying, that they should bring it, but also remember to stand up in what you believe in, no matter what you're wearing, no matter who's over you. And I feel like that's kind of what people kind of get bullied into stuff. Money is always good, and you got to pay the bills, and you got to eat and all of that stuff, but at the same time, fight for what you believe in.
I agree, but I guess what kind of what I mean is more along the lines of like, I feel like so like let's take Colin Kaepernick for example. I love what Colin Kaepernick did. I agree with him 110%. But at the same time, because of the fact that he didn't realize that this was going to be such a movement, he did not prepare his organization for the movement that he created. So like, as much as I am about it and I'm for it and I am all for what Colin Kaepernick did, I believe that he should be signed because he would be a great backup quarterback, and there's no reason that he's not signed personally other than this. Like, I believe that he should not have blindsided his organization the way he did.
I think, to bring it back to your original question of doing it on the field or leaving it off the field or the court, with the whole kneeling and the NFL thing, I saw that as the perfect time to bring something like that up, because it was a problem, or it is a problem, and what better way to address it and get your message out than in front of not only a sold-out NFL stadium, but also the TV. Anybody watching on TV, tons of people watch the NFL. There's no better time to take a stand or do something to that caliber of taking a knee for against police brutality than during the game.
And that's
I will say a lot of his players, even though they don't agree with or might not agree with what he was saying, they were like, it's fine. It's his opinion. He's allowed to do that. I will stand by him, and I will put my hand over my heart, but I will also have my hand on his shoulder while he kneels, because that's what he believes in.
But that also goes back to team support, so it became a uniform thing with his team. Like, and I guess like that's a fine line that it has to ride, of course, but I do think that like your team should be able to back you up, in your opinion.
To piggyback off of what you're saying, Chandler, again, that's probably why politicians get mad and say, oh, these guys should shut up and dribble. They're here to entertain, not give rights on their opinions on the politics of stuff. It's because they know millions of people are watching, and they look up to these guys who are playing on their televisions. So they know that they have an impact on how guys vote, how everyone does. And they want them to shut up and not use their platform, but they are the same ones that use their platform for things like going against a Hillary or going against a Trump and stuff like that. But sports honestly has a big platform, and you can't be mad about that.
See, that's the difference for me is like, I think that athletes should be able to have a political opinion, but I don't necessarily think that politicians should have an opinion in sports. Everything a politician does affects everybody in the nation, but sports are its own entity.
Let them hear you say it, Sarah. Let
them
hear you say it.
Thank you, panel, and thank you for tuning into LUTV Sports Break. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for more Lamar University sports. We'll see you next time.